Good morning, everybody. It's week 2 of the summer holidays and all the children are still relatively happy. And more importantly, I'm relatively happy. Which, I know that sounds really awful, right? To like prioritise my own self over the children. But like honestly, happy mum, happy kids. Okay, happy mum, happy kids. So the kids are happily pootling along. We've got things coming up this week, like we just finished the Joseph summer workshop session, the craft session, I'll tell you about that in a minute. They've got the cinema, we've got, one of them's going to National Trust are doing like a nature workshop thing where they're going to take them away for 4 hours and take them to a hut in the woods and make fire and pizza. It sounds dodgy, but it was free, so obviously I booked them on. So it's a pretty nice little rhythm really of just sort of chilling and being out and chilling and being out and chilling and being out. And actually the 12-year-old in particular has said that she just wants to hibernate for the whole 6 weeks of the summer holiday. She's like, no, I want to stay in my bed, I want to bed rot, and I want to just be, which actually is quite like emotionally mature really, isn't it? To like know where your limits are and to know that, because she's such a little introvert, so to know that her social battery needs recharging, that's going to take 6 weeks to recharge it, is like, oh, it's quite emotionally mature, I suppose, which is quite cute. But one thing that we did do at the weekend, which I was going to vlog all about, we went to a Christian festival called Creationfest. It's down in Cornwall and they do it over 4 days. So it used to be a week long and it used to be massive, and then COVID happened and then they sort of did a COVID-y thing, and we went before COVID and we stayed for the whole week. But then we had smaller children then, so the kids spent a lot of time in the kids groups and we spent a lot of time just listening to all the talks and doing the worship and stuff like that. They've condensed it down over the years. COVID was pretty tricky. This year, did we go last year? I don't think we went last year, but we went the year before. This year, we went just for the day, and oh my goodness, we'd left by, it's a free event, to put it out there. I didn't like waste money, but I did waste a lot of fuel. We got there at 9:30, 10 o'clock, ready in time for morning worship. Did amazing worship, listened to Amy or Ewing do a talk. She's awesome. I'll put a link down below to her. And then sort of went out, the kids were in kids group, we went out, had a look, see what was on, and all of it was just really naff and it was just a bit rubbish. I took maybe 2 seconds worth of footage, which I will put in now. Good morning. We are here in sunny Cornwall. It's not sunny, is it? No. It's not sunny Cornwall.
Right, feels desperately.
Like, yeah, every time we come to Cornwall, it's always grey, always. We only live the next county over. You would think we could take some sunshine with us, but no, there's a tiny bit of blue over there, but other than that it's a bit grey. We are here at Creationfest, which is super exciting. It's a Christian festival. We're only here for the day, but we've just driven past like all the campers and they look very sprightly for 9:30 in the morning. So yeah, we're gonna head on in. We've got car breakfast, which we're very much enjoying, right? Mm-hmm. We've only got 2 of the kids, wherever they are, we've only got 2 of the kids with us because the other 2 wouldn't get out of bed. Fine, not a problem. Right, let's go. There was less to do. There used to be loads and loads of things. There used to be fairground rides, and there used to be like 20 different food vendors, and there used to be like talks on constantly. There was like a whole like little shopping area that had like 50 different stalls in it. all sorts of things. I said to one of the kids, they were like, oh, I need a new crucifix for her school uniform, and she doesn't wear a crucifix as her school uniform, as in like it needs to be a bit longer so it can go under her school uniform. And I was like, oh, we'll go to one of the stalls, because normally there's like jewelry stalls there and things like that. And then literally you couldn't even buy a crucifix necklace at a Christian festival. Now, it was a real shame. It just wasn't what we were expecting. We'd left by 2 o'clock, which was really annoying because it took us 3 hours of travelling time there and back, and we spent 4 hours there. It was a good job it was free. To camp for the week, so we got chatting to one of the ladies in the queue for kids group. So to camp with Creationfest, it was like £600-700 for all of us. For her, she camped off-site and then came in every day. That was still £300. And I think £300 for just to sort of have such less of an experience than you did say 5 years ago, but it actually cost you more money. It just wasn't great. So needless to say, we won't be going back. It's just one of those things you think like, oh, maybe this time. So, oh, okay, all right, we're done with that. We're done now. But the upside was that I had a bit more time in my weekend, which meant that I finished my book, which is really, really good. In fact, it's technically not a book, it's an audiobook. So I've been listening to the Prophet Song by Paul Lynch. I'll pop a picture there. I was listening to it on BorrowBox. Now, BorrowBox is the free library service that you use, and it gives you audiobooks and it gives you ebooks and stuff like that, and you can borrow them and listen to them all for free. It's brilliant, as long as you've got a library card. It's really, really good. This book, honestly, I am really, really pleased that I listened to it on audio, because I think I probably would have found it a bit too heavy if I'd have been reading it. The way that the language is structured and such like is really beautiful, but to read it, it would have been really heavy going. But honestly, this book is just fantastic. Absolutely. I think it's a Booker Prize winner. It was just so, so good. It was about a family in Ireland, and there becomes some troubles and stuff like that, and then it goes on to how that sort of escalates and how the mum deals with it when she's got 4 children at home. And it talks about like how the children have to one of them has to go and fight in the war, their dad gets taken away, all sorts. It's really, really fascinating, but it's all set in like today. And I think by the time I got to the end of the book, no spoilers, but by the time I got to the end of the book, I felt like really traumatized by the fact that, like, obviously it didn't help that she was a mum of 4 and I'm a mum of 4. So already I was like, oh, well, we're kindred spirits now. And then at the end of the book, but going through all of it and just seeing how like it could actually happen in the real world was just all a little bit panicky. So absolutely amazing. Would highly, highly, highly recommend it. Gave it 5 stars on my Goodreads, but I would recommend listening to it versus reading it. The other books that I've got on the go at the moment, I found this. This is Someone Else's Shoes by Jojo Moyes. So far, so good. Makes me want to buy a pair of Louboutin shoes. Yeah, I managed to get it in the book swap, which was good, which reminds me I need to go to the book swap to go and get that book for my mother-in-law. She saw my short and said, oh, can you go back and get me that book, please, that I just saw? So I've got to go and get that. But yeah, I'm only just a little way through this, page 37. So this is on my current reading list. And then I picked up from the book swap, so this was a different book swap to this one, The Lamplighters, which is next on my TBR list. Can't wait to get started into that one. So that's The Lamplighters. As soon as I've finished, Someone Else's Shoes. I've also got a load of sewing stuff that I want to show you. I've sewn up another Noah jumpsuit, and I've sewn some wide leg trousers that I want to share with you. I want to tell you all about, I've got a tote bag sewing workshop coming up that I'm hosting, and I want to tell you all about how Joseph went because the kids did some lovely little bits. But first I need to go to the shops to get some food because the kids are whinging. So come with me to the shops. Right, back from the shop. The weirdest thing just happened. Okay, so where we live, there's you've got like little blocks of houses, and then in the middle you've got a big country park, and it's got rivers going through it and lakes and stuff like that. So we were walking through the country park to get to the shops, and then we walked back like in the opposite direction, so like in a big circle, and there was some police tape like taping off one of the paths, and I was like, no, that's weird. Just assumed it was some kids dicking about, and so we walked like through one of the other paths, got to the end of the other path, and there was police tape cordoning that off, and I was like, oh no. And then this policeman just like popped out of nowhere and went, did you just go over a barrier you weren't supposed to? And I was like, no. I didn't get told off by the police, honest, it wasn't me. But to be fair, they had actually not cordoned off the path that we were going to, but they found something in the river. I don't know what it is, but I don't think it's that suspicious because there was only 2 policemen, and it's a pretty big space to cover, so if it was something serious it would be a lot more police and stuff like that. But I will keep you updated just in case. But while I've got you here, I thought I would show you what I've been sewing lately. So these trousers, can't remember what pattern they are. They're a McCall's pattern or a Simplicity pattern. I'm going to put it down below. But these guys, let me pop you down a bit lower. So these wide leg trousers are just the absolute dream. I made a pair with some heart fabric about, well, it must have been in February because it was for Valentine's. I made some then and they were really nice, but the fabric just made it look a little bit pajama bottomy. But I think this fabric makes it look much better, and I've just got the hang of the belt and the waist, so now I'm really, really happy. So I think I'm going to make a few more of these. This fabric is I don't know what it is, but I do know that it was from Pound a Meter Fabrics. The second thing is the Noah jumpsuit. Now, let me pop you down. I made one of these a few weeks ago on my other channel, and I made it out of reclaimed vintage curtains. Now, I don't know if I like, because this fabric is less stiff, so it's a bit easier and a bit floaty and like easier to just doss around in. But there's something about popping a belt on with it. Persevere, okay? There's something about, right, putting a belt on with it that just really changes the shape of it. But there's no, oh, hang on. There's no, I don't know, what do we think? Then, if I put a belt on with it, it suddenly feels like a proper 80s style. I mean, this fabric certainly doesn't help, but it feels like a proper 80s style look, doesn't it? There's something about the top as well. I thought it fitted okay, but now I'm not so sure. Just looking in the mirror. No, I think I like it. It's definitely a belt one. I definitely couldn't, well, certainly couldn't wear it with a dog lead, but just for bombing around the house, excuse my hairy armpits, bombing around the house, not too bad. But what do we think of the colour? Again, this is another fabric from, oh, steady. This is another fabric from Pound a Meter, which I think this was, it's just a poly cotton, and it was like £1 or £2 per meterage. But also I've got a really short zip in it. Well, it's not too short, but I had to change the zip in the last one because it was too short and I literally couldn't get in or out of it. This one, so the zip, so the zips that I've got, they either come to here or they come all the way down to here, and because it's put together there, it was really tricky to get it all to line up, so I thought, oh, I'll just put a shorter zip in it. So it does look better. I don't quite know when I'm going to wear it or how I'm going to wear it yet. I'm just going to make some lunch for the children. Managed to get from the co-op 65p for 4 rolls from 1.75. What a bargain. And blue cheese as well. Shut up. Was £3, now £1.20. They know mouldy cheese doesn't go off, right? Mugs, absolute mugs. I also, yesterday, managed to get a free baguette from Lidl with the Lidl Plus app. So I'm going to be having oil and vinegar with baguette for lunch, and the children are going to be having rolls for lunch. But before I do that, I wanted to show you what we did yesterday. So do you remember last week we were doing some church craft sessions down at the community hub? Well, this week's was Joseph and his amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. So we did like 5 minutes of stories, and I got all the kids to act and be Joseph and stuff like that. And then we did some crafts, including doing some weaving. And the kids all sat and did, this one's mine. That was an example that I did for the children. But this is my 8-year-old's one. Isn't that cute? So we've got little scraps of fabric and some thread in there as well. This was my 12-year-old's one. She sat there and diligently just weaved for about an hour. She's still got half of it to go, but they were so impressive. And honestly, even the tiny weeny ones were really good and really dexterous at being able to do it. And there was a little boy there, and he said he's got like an entire arts and crafts cupboard, and he said to me, he was 4 years old, and he said, I'd never met him before. He said, next time I see you, will you keep all of your recycling for me so that I can start to turn it into a robot, because I'm actually something of a builder and my arts and crafts cupboard helps me build robots. So can you bring your old boxes and stuff next time? I was like, absolutely, absolutely I will. You know me and creativity, I am there. Next week's session is my last one, and it's loaves and fishes, so that'll be interesting. But the other thing that I'm doing next week is I'm doing a sewing workshop. So I'm going to be sewing tote bags, and I'm going to be personalising or helping the people personalise tote bags and things like that. I've aimed it at teenagers really, so probably 11 and up. And I'm going to take some embroidery stuff, I'm going to take a load of scrap fabric so they can applique things, and then I'm also going to take my sewing machine as well so that they can sew a tote bag if they want to. I've just got to find some fabric for that, and then order some other plain tote bags. Maybe I'll take some weaving as well, maybe we'll do that, but on more of a, they could weave onto the bags I suppose. It's a work in progress. If you have any suggestions for what you think would be good for teenagers to want to do onto tote bags, or something that I haven't already mentioned or I haven't already thought of, because you can definitely read my brain, please pop it down in the comments below. Right, I better feed these kids before they come at me. Okay, I have 15 minutes where I've sent the kids on errands, and then we're going to sit and watch a film. I'm doing the sermon next weekend, and I'm going to do it on the film WALL-E. If you've never watched the Disney film WALL-E before, I commend it to you. Also, suspiciously like the story of Noah. So I'm doing a sermon on that, but I also need to get this blanket finished. I have been doing this blanket forever. It was supposed to be a baby shower present. As you can see, it's not made it to said baby shower, and I really do need to get it finished off. It is just V-stitch, and I've got 4 random balls that I'm doing in order. It's quite easy actually, surprisingly easy. I don't know how I feel about sewing the ends in, but we'll see. But I do think, reflecting on the Noah jumpsuit and the well, I like the trousers. Trousers I've still got on now. But reflecting on the Noah jumpsuit and how I just feel with my sewing that I can't seem to sew for my body shape. It just sort of seems like everything that I sew up either makes me look really frumpy, or it makes me feel frumpy, or it doesn't quite fit in the right places. And I don't think it's my sewing per se. I think it's more my ability to visualize, and my, I don't know, maybe I've got like body dysmorphia where I think I look one way but I actually look the other. So I don't know, it's just, it is affecting how much I want to sew, because I don't really feel like spending 6 hours making something that I feel crap about really. So I don't know, I think that maybe what I need to do is just take a bit of a season off making clothes. I'm pretty sure that I had this the same time last year, and that I just sort of lost my Sewjo and just started crocheting and doing other stuff instead. But I mean, since I've not been doing my Create and Curate YouTube channel, I do definitely feel better that I'm sewing a bit more for pleasure. But I think what I just need to do is take a season off sewing clothes and then focus on different things instead. I definitely want to, I mean, in addition to doing the tote bags, I definitely want to be doing some more bags and be doing some more homewares and stuff like that with my sewing, but also maybe expanding my creativity in terms of embroidery and in terms of my cross stitch. Really love cross stitch, so maybe just doing a bit more of that, and actually the slowness, really leaning into the slowness. I think part of the reason why I like sewing clothes is because you get like instant results at the end of it, don't you? Whereas when you're crocheting, it can take months and months and months before you sort of see the benefits or feel the benefits. So maybe what I need to do is I need to lean into slow, intentional crafting and enjoying the process rather than enjoying the end result, because when it comes to sewing clothes at the moment, I am not enjoying the end result. So maybe that's where we need to go with that. Right, hour and a half's worth of crocheting to go. Hopefully I will have a hefty dent in this blanket, and who knows, I may even get it finished. Maybe, who knows. Do let me know how you feel about sewing and when you lose your Sewjo, and just how you feel about sewing clothes for your body to fit your body and stuff like that. Let me know your thoughts on that down below. For now, I am going to enjoy some time with the kids, and I will see you next week. Bye.